We all live in the same world, have the same problems, the same joys. We all desperately want to maintain our dignity and demand it from one another. These days, it's expected that we treat each other equally. So why is it that we still prejudge others? In this film, we will examine the reasons for discrimination against homosexuals. This is Ricky Rodriguez. He is an openly gay student at our school.
A lot of times when people hear the word homophobia, they simply think it's a fear of homosexuals. But it's not just any fear. It's not like arachnophobia where if you see a spider, you jump up and start screaming and you're like, oh my goodness, go smash that spider. If someone is homophobic and a homosexual walks into the room, they're not going to start jumping up and screaming and tell someone to go smash the homosexual.
So we checked in with Tuval, who provided our grade 10 students with workshops on healthy relationships to see what insight he could offer on homophobic behaviors.
I think a lot of people don't think about the fact that homophobia affects straight guys because we just think it's a way of being hateful towards guys that are gay. But the reality is that homophobic language is used every day. People are always calling guys all kinds of homophobic language. And what that does is it tells straight guys that if they act in certain ways, they are going to be called out and insulted and teased and made fun of using homophobic language.
Myself and another student, Ricky, were given an opportunity to put this group together through Speak Up, this program, in the hopes to educate our community about issues like homophobia and how they can affect us and how we can speak up and make changes in our community.
It is wrong to be gay.
To be honest, I don't really like gay people.
I do not like gay people.
Queer. Gaylord. Pansy. Faggot.
Sometimes the comments, I believe, are made in that the kids that are saying don't really appreciate what it is that they're saying, but more often than not they do understand that they are discriminatory comments, and I believe that these are things that need to be revealed, brought to the surface, so that we can start breaking down the layers that come into play when we have things like homophobic issues in our school. And I have definitely witnessed them many times outside the school and within the school.
And so straight guys feel a huge amount of pressure to prove that they're not gay, to prove that they're straight and how straight they are. And what they do to prove that is they act in the opposite extreme. They try and act in an extreme version of what it means to be straight. So they might be feeling pressure to be hypersexual with women, to sexualize women in disrespectful ways, to talk about women's bodies, to make up stories about sexual experiences that they had, and just generally feeling a huge amount of pressure to be sexual even when they don't necessarily even want to be. And that's a huge impact that homophobia has on straight guys.
I found at first things were all right. I had a lot of female friends, obviously, but the males were a bit more resistant to be friends with me. They wouldn't really, invite me to play any games with them. So there was that resistance. Things got worse over the years. People started calling me names, and then things started to get a bit violent. So I called my mom. She dealt with it. Of course, that didn't last for long. The bullying started up again, and it wasn't just the boys anymore. It was boys and girls.
What do you mean violent? What did he do?
Violent, the boys would beat me up.
For example, we also had an issue with a mural that our group painted.
This is the mural that the Rainbow Project painted themselves.
Quite a bit of time planning and painting it, of course. And one day, somebody took it upon themselves to write a homophobic, discriminatory comment on it. Fortunately, it was found and it was erased, but it doesn't change the fact that the comment was made. And for someone to go to that length to write that on our wall, a mural of Jesus no less, to me says that we need this education in the school.
We asked students from our school if they had ever been called a homophobic term. You might be surprised with the results. Have you ever been called a homophobic term?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 We may, feel in different ways, but even though we're different, we are still the same because we're human, and we need our students to realize that so that, they won't choose to follow homophobia or support it. And even we want our students to see that homophobia is closely related with other, forms of discrimination like racism and sexism, and like those other forms of discrimination, it's wrong. And we want our students to know that they don't have to, give in to those isms and phobias.
Homophobia has been around for ages, but it's 2010. It's time to put a stop to homophobia.